Hello again. So I have recently rehomed another gecko. A friend of a friend was not able to take care of her anymore, so fortunately I have been lucky enough to be able to take her in and care for her. And her name is Kira. Now Lemmy is about maybe 9 to 10 months old. He's definitely under a year old. Whereas Kira is about 10 years old, so she's a lot older than Lemmy. And leopard geckos have a life expectancy of around 15 to 20 years. So she's definitely lived out most of her life. So she's just gonna chill here with me and just vibe. So a little bit of a disclosure, she is a lot thinner than Lemmy and she's kind of having problems shedding her skin, but I've been doing a really good job of taking care of her and making her comfy. So a question I get asked a lot is, what is it like to have a leopard gecko as a pet? They're definitely not a common pet, at least with a lot of people I know. But once you get into the hang of how to care for them, they're pretty low maintenance and they have their own little personalities once you get to know them. They don't smell bad, they don't bark in the middle of the night or anything. They just kind of nap during the day, and at night or towards like dusk and dawn, they're a little bit more active, but I'm usually asleep, so I don't see it. But they are pretty low maintenance and they just vibe. So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys my geckos in their setups. So this is Lemmy's setup. As you can see, I have 3 hides. Leopard geckos like to have hides because it makes them feel safe and they can have a little bit of privacy where they don't feel like they're being watched all the time. So I have one right here, which is this tall structure, which you can see his little hand sticking out. He's in there. Then I have this one. This one has wet paper towels in it for some added humidity. That's his humid hide. Over here is a little coconut right above his heat mat. That's his warm hide, and I forgot to mention it, but this log thingy is his cool hide. So when he needs to cool down, he goes in there. When he needs to warm up, he goes in there. And the reason for that is because reptiles are cold-blooded. So unlike us, they don't regulate their own body temperature. So they have to do it in their environment. So this is Kira's setup, and there is Kira right there. As you can see on her nose and on her toes a little bit, she's got some stuck skin, but we're gonna work on getting that off. She has her own food dish right here. There's only like 1 worm left because she had a really big lunch today. Her water dish, and then she has a hide over here, and then she has a hide right here, and I'll probably add one somewhere over here once I figure out what exactly that will be. But yes, this is her setup. Another question that you may have about leopard geckos is what do they like to eat? Well, as you can see here, I have a food dish full of worms, mealworms and waxworms. So it looks like Lemmy might go for a bite right now. Leopard geckos are insectivores, meaning that they eat primarily and only insects. There are other reptiles that that are herbivores or omnivores, and they'll eat both or only plants, but Lemmy just likes insects. And you can do mealworms, waxworms, crickets, superworms. There's a lot of options, but he really likes those. Woo! Yay! You may also wonder, what is this thing here? This is a deep heat projector that keeps this side nice and warm, so if you were to touch it, it would feel warm. And then he also has a heat mat to give him heat from below. Also to note, some little decorations, his water bowl. I have a little pillow for him to rest on, and there's also a hammock up there for him to climb up onto and relax. I have these little strips on either side of the enclosure to give me a reading of the temperature. It should be on his cool side, anywhere from 70 to 75 degrees, and then on this side, anywhere from 80 to 85 degrees. It's actually pushing 90, so I'm gonna go ahead and